I was Kalen, captain of the Ironclad, a salvage vessel scouring forgotten sectors of the Orion Spur. And she was Xylos, a being from the Xylosian Enclave, a race whose very existence was shrouded in myth and fear. Their cities were whispers, their technology rumored to warp reality, and their appearance, well, it was enough to make most humans recoil. Her skin was a mosaic of deep, shifting violet and iridescent green, rippling subtly with her internal biospheres. Her limbs were too long, too graceful, ending in slender digits tipped with crystalline claws. Her head bore no hair, but intricate, glowing tendrils that flowed like liquid light, constantly shifting color with her mood. To most, she was alien, grotesque, an affront to human aesthetics. To me, she was breathtaking. Beautiful isn't just about form, Xylos, I replied, my voice raspy from disuse, from the long, silent hours we kept together. It's about complexity, about uniqueness, about the way light catches the iridescence on your arm when you gesture. I gestured back, my human hand, blunt and unadorned, feeling clumsy next to her elegant grace. It's about the patterns your mind weaves, the depth of your thoughts. She tilted her head, a gesture I'd learned to recognize as genuine contemplation. Her tendrils pulsed a soft, inquiring blue. My form is considered inefficient for optimal thermal regulation in most known atmospheres. My mind patterns are merely logical constructs responding to environmental stimuli. There is no beauty in such cold data. I chuckled, a sound that always seemed to startle her slightly. That's where you're wrong. Everything is data, Xylos. It's how you interpret it. And for me, your data is compelling. Our relationship had started 3 cycles ago, in the wreckage of the Venture's End, a lost colony ship floating in a graveyard of nebulae. My crew had been extracting valuable cryopods when we found her, not in a pod, but meticulously encased in a personal stasis field, perfectly preserved amidst the chaos. She was not a colonist. She was Xylosian. My crew had panicked, demanding I jettison her. The Xylosian Enclave was a boogeyman story, a whisper of alien horrors. No one had ever returned from an encounter with them. But when her stasis field collapsed and her eyes, like polished obsidian, opened, I saw no malice, only a profound, ancient exhaustion. She was injured, barely clinging to life, her internal biospheres flickering dangerously. I, a lone salvage captain driven by a stubborn refusal to leave anyone behind, made a choice that nearly cost me my crew's loyalty. I saved her, my medical bay, designed for human physiology, strained to adapt to her alien biology. For weeks, I worked, guided by the few, often contradictory, medical archives on Xylosian physiology. I learned her subtle hums, the way her tendrils would dim when she was in pain, the precise nutrients her biospheres required. And she, in turn, learned me, my human discomforts, my bursts of frustration, my quiet joy when a damaged system whirred back to life. As she recovered, she didn't leave. She stayed on the Ironclad, a silent, watchful presence. My crew, initially terrified, slowly grew accustomed to her, though always from a respectful distance. She never asked to go home. She simply observed, and I found myself seeking out her observations. The humans of this sector, she began, her voice pulling me from my recollections, they perceive the visual light spectrum in a very limited fashion. Their neural pathways prioritize symmetry and predictable patterns. Your form, Kalen, is considered optimal by your species. She gestured to my decidedly average human physique. Yet, you find me optimal. This is a logical inconsistency in your species' aesthetic preferences. Maybe it's not about what's optimal, I countered, leaning back in my command chair. Maybe it's about what resonates, what feels right. I knew I was venturing into territory that was entirely foreign to her logical mind. Your people, Xylos, they're feared. Myths spun around them. But I've never seen a hint of that fear in you. Only a profound, ancient sadness, and a wisdom that dwarfs anything I've encountered. Her tendrils flared, a brilliant emerald green, a sign I had come to recognize as intense thought or something akin to human surprise. Sadness is an inefficient emotion. It consumes energy without contributing to survival or growth. Maybe I said, looking out at the swirling nebulae. Or maybe it's a necessary part growth, a reminder of what's been lost, so you can build something better. She stood, her movements fluid and silent as mercury. Her height, almost 2 meters, dwarfed me, but I felt no intimidation, only a strange sense of calm. She glided to the main viewport, her iridescent skin reflecting the distant starlight. "My people are dying, Kalen," she stated, her voice devoid of inflection. Yet the emerald tendrils pulsed furiously, not by conflict, not by disease, but by the consumption of too much. We resonated with the universe, absorbed its energies, became one with its patterns. We learned to reshape reality, to bypass the mundane. We shed our physical forms, becoming beings of pure thought, pure energy. It was meant to be the ultimate evolution. But in doing so, we lost a connection to the very inefficiencies you speak of, the touch of a rough surface, the taste of sustenance, the sound of a simple, unsynthesized voice, the sadness of loss. We became perfect, and in our perfection, we became sterile. We could no longer feel the universe. My breath hitched. This was the first time she had spoken of her people with such directness, such vulnerability. The myths had it all wrong. They weren't monsters. They were dying gods. "And you?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "I am a remanifestation," she replied, her form solidifying slightly, the iridescence gaining a new, deeper sheen. One of the few who chose to return to physical form, to find the inefficiencies we discarded, to rediscover the beauty of imperfection. My purpose is to find a way for our essence, our thought, to integrate with the physical, to relearn the value of the limited, to find a way for my people to feel again, before they simply dissipate into pure energy. She turned from a viewport, her obsidian eyes piercing me. I returned to the physical form of my distant ancestors, a form considered by many to be grotesque. I chose to be imperfect, and I chose to do alone because my people no longer understood the need for individual connection. "You chose to be vulnerable," I finished for her. She nodded slowly, the tendrils now a soft, steady gold, a highly inefficient state, according to our original logical constructs. Yet, in observing you, in experiencing your care, your resonance with what you deem beautiful, I am beginning to understand its value. She stepped closer until she was directly before me. Her luminous hand, so delicate yet powerful, reached out and gently traced a scar on my temple, the one from the xenomorph, the one she had healed. The contact sent a jolt through me, a primal recognition. "You took me in, Kalen," she whispered, her voice a frequency that seemed to vibrate directly in my soul. "When all logic dictated you should fear me, destroy me, you saw beyond my form. You saw the inefficient data. You saw sadness." She paused, her tendrils cycling through hues of green, gold, and a profound, luminous indigo. "And in doing so, you'll show me a love,